Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Today we have you're an artist, you're a designer, you are the lead singer of the band Kramp, all the way from Spain, Mina Walkure. Welcome.
Hello, nice to meet you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I have to say I discovered you strictly by accident on Instagram. I'm a metal guy, been a metal guy since I was a little kid, and I caught part of one of you singing one time, and I was like, I had to go back because I had thought I had skipped past Adoro singing, and I
Oh,
went, wait a minute,
really?
and I was like,
Oh,
holy crap, nope, that's her, and I was
thank you.
impressed.
That's an honor. Obviously, I love Doro, so that's an honor.
Yeah, and I used to listen to Warlock and Doro when I was younger, and then she didn't do a whole lot here in the United States, and unfortunately, that happens with a lot of bands that I'm into. Is they've kind of gone back to Europe, and they've put out a ton of albums over there that we don't get over here, or well, recently, with YouTube and all the streaming and stuff like that, I've really got back into the stuff I used to listen to a lot. And so I'm going out and finding all these bands now, like your band, that remind me of these older bands. And it blew me away when I found you. I was like, holy wow. And I don't want to ask your age or nothing like that, but I do have
Oh,
to
no
ask.
problem. I'm 32.
32. Okay.
Yeah,
You're relatively young into the metal
yeah.
scene, and that's amazing. Were your parents metalheads?
No, not at all. I grew up in a very rural area from Spain, but tiny, tiny, really tiny. And there was no one around that even loved music besides my grandpa who played many instruments, but it was more casual and not showing me bands or artists, just the passion for music. And I discovered metal by accident. A teenage, playing with the computer because I am a nerd and I'm addicted to the computer. And I randomly went through some metal songs and I was like, what is this? This is my future. This is my life. And I started to go deeper and deeper, but I had no one to share. Back then, the internet was very limited and I didn't even have access to forums or anything. So it was just me by myself, and yeah, so self discovery.
Well, that's cool. I mean, my kids didn't have an option. They're all
That's the way.
yeah. But it's fun seeing somebody, younger, discovering metal, going back to the roots of older metal and not going, you could have went to I mean, lack of a better term, the new metal genre and stuff like that, but you went back older. You went to the power metal, the
Yes.
like I said, Doro, the Iron Maidens, the Dios, stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that's really cool.
I mean, obviously, when I was starting to listen to music, I was a teen on the 2000s. So obviously, I was more exposed to new metal bands and that kind of stuff, and melodic death metal, and that kind of Scandinavian bands. And that was what was easy to get, but not what I wanted to have. So I had to dig more deep. And Iron Maiden was one of the first bands that I discovered, and I guess everyone. So I was like, I need more stuff like Iron Maiden, and I started digging there, and then, Judas Priest, Manowar, Black Sabbath, and Doro, as you mentioned, and Accept Dio. So my mind was blown away, and that's the niche that I love. Yes.
Well, um, how old were you when you discovered metal?
Oh, I think I was like 13, 14, that kind of age or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm not exactly sure how schools go in Europe, but what we called junior high, which is seventh and eighth grade, it was that weird transformation because you go from elementary school to high school, and I found metal in that little couple of years because I'd listen to like Motley Crue, stuff like that. That was
Yeah.
really, really easy to find on MTV at that time and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, one day in probably 1986, I discovered Ride the Lightning, and then it just got heavier and heavier, and then I found old metal, and I started going back. I was like, oh, what did these guys listen to? So I started finding that stuff and going from there,
Yeah.
and it just kept snowballing. And um, so who was the first band you found that you really got into? Iron Maiden?
Probably Iron Maiden because I actually, when I started to listen to more Iron Maiden stuff, I was like, wait, I've heard this on movies and TV commercials, whatever, and I was like, yes, but there was no access to the full song or stuff like that. But the first song that I remember that I heard from Iron Maiden was Blood Brothers from Brave New World. So that was the years, the comeback from Bruce Dickinson and that kind of stuff. And maybe it's not the best song, but it's my favorite because it was the first one that I heard, and it blew my mind. All the melodies, the guitars playing together, and the voice and the energy. And it's not the typical fast, aggressive, heavy metal song that you may expect and that I love, obviously. But it has all those epic elements that I think influenced me on my music later on, with the slow tempos, and it's different. It's an atmosphere that I really appreciate, and it blew my mind, and here I am.
Okay. Well, what's your go-to Iron Maiden album now?
I still go with Brave New World because feelings and stuff. But I mean, I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, so put me any album except the new ones. I don't really dig the new ones, but still.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my favorite Iron Maiden album is Power Slave.
Yeah,
And
obviously, it's a great one.
yeah,
It's so hard
and
to
it's funny
choose one.
because it's a lot of people are like, oh, it's not Number of the Beast. I'm like, no, it's Power Slave, then it's Somewhere in Time, then we go back to Number of the Beast.
Yeah, like
uh,
after that, I mean, it's impossible to just pick one, and it's Iron Maiden.
oh yeah, yeah. It's somebody asked me one time. They're at what was it? If you could tell anybody to listen to any song or any CD that would be you, what would it be? And I went, I have no idea what to tell people to listen to. So, sorry, the dog decided to visit me here.
Oh, nice visit.
So how old were you when you started forming a band? When you got a band together?
Oh, this is a complicated one because my idea was I was one day going to high school. I had to go on bus because I had to go to another village because mine was tiny, and I was with my MP3 listening to my music, and I was like, I'm gonna form a band. I don't have friends. I don't know anyone, but I'm going to form a band because obviously I was alone here. I had no friends, and but I was excited. So I was 14, and I didn't know how to play any instruments, but I knew I wanted to form a band. My first instrument was drums. I got a drum for my birthday that year. Later on, the same year, I got a guitar. So the idea of being a singer was not on my mind. Like I was quite not shy, but I didn't trust in myself. I didn't discover that passion at that moment, and I was not confident. But I was excited. I was asking people like, "You want to join a band?" And they were like, "I don't play instruments. I don't like your music. What are you telling me?" So yeah, but my first band, I was able to convince some people that actually knew what instruments were at around 17, 18. I don't know. I don't remember very well. And I dragged my brother, and because we needed a bass player, and I was like, please, we need a bass player. Can you join? And he was like, okay, whatever. And here we are. He's still on the band. So yeah.
So did you get your brother into metal, or was your brother in?
Yes, I mean my brother was not into metal, but he always was following my steps somehow and respecting me because I'm the big sister and we are very close. But he was not into metal as I was, like very passionate and dressing and stuff like that. And at the moment that we needed a bass player and I asked him, he was like, okay, whatever. I've been listening to the songs, so let's go. And we bought a bass on a store, the most cheap bass that we could find. He's a lefty, and we got a regular one, but it was okay. And we got home, and he was like, I don't know what to play. I don't know what to do with this. Let's go with the song. And he started to play Mr. Crowley, and he played it on a bass, and it was amazing.
Wow.
He had no idea. I mean, we had no idea how to play instruments, but there we were.
So you're all self-taught then?
Yes, yes, totally. I mean, he was like, okay, so this is one note, and the next one is it. But he did it so natural talent. Yeah.
Wow. See, I remember playing bass back in the day, and I played "Got the Time" from Anthrax, and I legitimately went and found live footage of them playing and memorized the finger placement, everything. And everybody's like, "Oh, you play bass?" I'm like, "Yeah, what can you play?" I was like, "I can play this," and that's about it.
Yeah, YouTube videos later on were a huge part of our development as musicians because I remember like my brother was going to YouTube and searching Iron Man bass covers, whatever, and there was a Japanese guy that was playing and the hand was visible and he was following the steps and that was a way of learning. He later on joined the conservatory for playing cello as an adult, which was risky because usually kids go to conservatory, but he went and he started to learn more music. But the beginnings, the start point was no idea about music, but we were decided to conquer the world.
Oh yeah, you got go big or go home, as they say.
Yeah.
Now, how long has your current band been active?
I mean, let's go in the past. Probably, well, on every biography or interview, we say that 2010 was the point where we were formed and stuff like that. But the lineup changes and stuff like that were complicated. So can we say that we were active back then? Yeah, but I mean, we were not as active as I would want to be touring and recording and stuff like that. But yeah, those were the beginnings. Let's just say that
Okay,
it's complicated.
it's complicated. Uh, so I ask these questions about horror movies, stuff like that, but so I got to change them up a little bit. Okay, you could tour with any band. What band would you tour with?
It's complicated because I am a huge metal maniac and I want to see the bands. And playing with the band means that you have to load or warm up or have dinner or stuff like that, and you're going to miss the band. And that is something that really kills me off. So I'm divided because obviously I want to see the bands, but I don't want to tour with crap bands. Let's be honest. So I don't know. I would love. I mean, if we can choose, since you mentioned horror movies, I'm going to say Wasp, but in the 80s. We have nothing to. We have nothing in common with the music of Wasp. I recently did a cover of Wasp because I'm a huge fan, but my band and Wasp doesn't sound like the same. But
Yeah,
I don't care. They are touring with Armored Saint, so we can go with that.
yeah. I just missed them. They were not far from my house. They were 20 minutes away from my house recently, and I'm like, ah,
Oh,
I got,
apparently the tour is going great, so yeah,
yeah, and I'm
it's a
I'm an
surprise.
Armored Saint guy too, so it's
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little more Armored Saint than I am Wasp, but
Mm,
yeah,
that's a surprise because not many people, you know, go to that concert because of Armored Saint. So it's a surprise, a nice one.
well, it's I go back to a long time ago, back in 91, 92. I had just graduated high. I was getting ready to graduate high school, and I had a choice to go to my senior prom or go see Skid Row and Pantera.
uh,
And that was when Pantera opened for Skid Row, and I went to that instead. So,
I support the decision.
and then when my wife was older, because she's a couple years younger than me, we went for her prom. We went and seen Slayer. So,
Oh, nice. That's the way.
but literally, I went to go see Skid Row Pantera. I went to go see Pantera before anybody had known who knew who they were, because, well, Cowboys from Hell had kind of just came out. Vulgar Display of Power hadn't hit yet, and
Hmm.
they were opening for Skid Row, and that's who I went to
Yeah,
go
that's
see.
amazing.
So it's just the weird combination of those two bands put together, but
Yeah, I mean, if you think it doesn't make much sense, maybe these days are like more open-minded to mix bands and do crazy combinations on the bills, but back then that was risky because they have nothing to do in common. Even with Pantera's old look, all glammed up and with big hair, it doesn't make much sense.
no. Well, it's funny because I've been to so many concerts over the years, and you see some of these bands open up for other bands, and you're like, why did that band open up for that band?
Yeah, crazy stuff,
Yeah,
you
seen
know.
Typo Negative open up for Jackal back in the day. It's a weird combination. Um, so do you, over here in America, we metal is still pretty big, but not like European big. Is it still? I mean, because is it still as big over there as it used to be, or is it
I
kind
mean,
of
the 80s are the 80s. I was not
yeah?
alive, but I know how big things were. Even on small places, there were metalheads everywhere, and it was, you know. So right now, I cannot complain. I'm very proud of how things are going. Because this is not mainstream. Let's be honest. Back in the day, it was mainstream. It was MTV and Hellbangers Ball and that kind of stuff that I can just look in be envious and jealous, but the footage is on YouTube, so I'm glad. But I cannot complain, not in Europe in general or Spain, because things are going nice. I mean, it's not like 10 years ago when there was this explosion of new wave of traditional heavy metal, and there were more festivals and more bands everywhere, and small clubs supporting the more traditional sounds. Nowadays it's still going on, and there are many events that really are worthy, some that try to do stuff, and there are many bands that keep going, and many of those bands that back in 10 years ago or so were very underground, they are trying to be bigger, and they are on bigger labels. It's not like the 80s. We cannot compare with that. Probably they are not going to make a living out of this,
No.
most probably. But who can in music these days? But if you want to go to metal concerts, you can go and you can have activity, and it's very nice. Yeah.
Because ours get a little few and far between, so you have to decide which ones you're going to go see, and then sometimes they're all clumped together, so you're like, oh man, there's three of them in like 3 days. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, there are some times here, with the pandemic, everything has changed, and
Mm,
it's weird to try to go back to what it was, and it's very different. Everything is going in a different direction. Bands are not like touring the way they were trying before, and many bands are like, oops, we are canceling because unknown reasons, and it's because tickets are not, they are not earning anything, and they use the simple excuse of COVID, which is a lie. We all know that. So it's a safe spot for bands to not take risk, which is something that I don't support, because if you are into metal, you need to, give it all. So it's a weird moment in general. 2022 it's weird for music, but metal is still there. There are many festivals, putting posters these days and announcing bands, and even small clubs are going back to programming and booking bands. So it's nice. Let's see how it goes.
nice. Because I got lucky a few weeks ago. I finally got to see Merciful Fate. Never got to see
Yeah.
them before. They didn't really tour around here, not much. And then all of a sudden, my friend goes, "You want to go see Merciful Fate?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I."
Let's go.
So we went and seen. Literally, it was on a Friday, and he calls me on Wednesday and asks me if I want to go. And I'm like, "Yes."
Best plans. Improvising is the best way. Yeah.
Yep. And so I was like, I'm not ready, but we'll go. So and it was nice because I got to see Merciful Fate and Creator. I've never seen either one of
Yeah.
them live, and now I have, and it's like yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So with the metal scene over there, um, and you're an artist and stuff. I see you doing making the jackets and stuff like that. Now, do you when you're out touring, do you take your own stuff to sell, like your painted jackets and whatnot?
No, not really, not really. I mean, and I never thought about it, which is thank you for the idea. I may take that, but I used to be more into painting jackets and that type of stuff. But that is kind of separate, you know, keep it separate from the band. And I never thought about bringing the stuff, but I may do that. Yeah. I usually when we are touring, we bring obviously the merchandise and stuff like that, and I'm the one that makes the t-shirts and besides the designs, the production. I mean, I'm screen printing the t-shirts myself, and I have an embroidery machine, and I do the patches, and I do the pin buttons and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I kind of had that separate, but there's no reason why I cannot. I can mix together everything. So I, for example, I decided, improvised idea, to do a live stream tomorrow reading because I don't know why, because I had the idea. And I was talking to my brother, and he was like, yeah, people are going to go like, why aren't you not singing or playing? But who cares? It's you, and you can do whatever you want. It's your, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense to not have sense at all.
Yeah. Well, that's even what people have told me. They're like, "Well, you need to stick on one subject and focus on one subject." I'm like, "But not one subject fascinates me." So I talk to everybody that I want to talk to on my
Yeah.
show. Alright. Um, so have you been able to tour with any big, headliners or anything yet?
No.
No.
No, I mean, I wish, but 2020 came like a fucking motherfucker, fucking everyone in the ass. So we had the plan to release the first album, and the idea was to go touring over Europe and with the small bands. But we had the idea to put some tours together in Germany and the UK, maybe Sweden, you know, and we were not able. So we have played like I think 2 shows in these 2 years. Right now, my brother had a surgery on his arm. He broke the two arms on 2021. We
Ooh,
are that lucky, and he is currently recovering. So not yet. I mean, we've toured with Slow Feg, which was awesome, but they are not a big band, and I think that was the biggest one. Yeah, I think.
well, it's funny because you're talking about touring, Europe, you go to Germany and Sweden and stuff like that, and it's awesome because you guys can tour and be all over, Spain, you go to France, you can go to Britain, you can go, and it's relatively short, distance. The
Yeah,
United States, because we get bands that we'd love to see over here, and every time you get excited because you're like, oh, they're touring. Ah, it's only Europe.
yeah, I know. I mean, I've been seeing some posters of festivals that I'm drooling about on the USA, like Health Heroes or
Mhm.
stuff like that, and there's great deals. But I know that many bands never manage to go to the States, and it's sad. I hope to go one day. I don't mind, risking everything and eating potatoes every day.
Well, it's funny because I know so many friends that are in bands and they tour and they're like, everything we fit into a van, and we drive this one van around, we're dragging a trailer along behind us and stuff like that. I'm like, they're like, well, we're not making any money. I'm like, are you making enough money to get to the next city? Well, yeah. Are you having fun? Yeah. Where's the problem? I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I mean, music is not easy, and you probably are going to get recognition once you're dead. So you better accept it and go on.
Yeah.
It's the passion, and you have to live it that way. So
Yeah. There's very little in this world that you can really make a career out of a passion. And music, if you get lucky, you can. But if you can go out and make it so that it doesn't cost you anything to do. So if you're going out playing and you're making money doing your shirts and stuff like that, and you're out touring, you get paid, and you don't lose anything, then it's a win.
Yeah, it is, because sometimes you think that you are going to have the most amazing gig and everyone's going to buy merch, and suddenly you arrive to the venue and there are two people in the crowd, and the owner of the venue is an asshole and he never pays you, and suddenly you go to another place that you don't have any expectations and it's packed as fuck, and you sell everything and you don't have anything left, and it's like, what is going on? So it's a lottery basically, and you need to bet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, with stuff like that, there was a club not far from where I live that I kind of knew the people who used to run it. I did know the people who ran it at one time, and now it's a whole new group of people. And it's funny because they would set up shows that I thought would be huge, like just tons of people. And I walk in the door, like Joey Belladonna did a solo tour
Hmm.
and he played there. And literally, I was like, I walked in and maybe 30 people. And I'm like, what's going on? He goes, yeah, he happened to be coming through the area. So they booked him for the day and they didn't push it. I'm like, man, this is Joey. This is just before he rejoined Anthrax. I was like, you're telling me that the
Yeah.
30 people? I mean, don't get me wrong. I got to hang out with him for a big chunk of the night. So that was cool. But, um, but then I've seen little bands that were just starting to get really big, just starting to kind of hit the cusp. And I go to a club, is jam packed full. And you're like, well, how did we get to here? I walked up, I'm like, hey, do you got any vinyl? Because they had the little thing on their backdrop behind them. They're like, we're out of vinyl. Do you got any CDs? We're out of CDs.
Yeah.
You got any shirts? They're like, what size are you? I'm like, extra large. And he digs through. I got this one. I'm like, I'll take that one. And I got some tour posters signed. But literally, they were out of everything because they didn't know what to take, and suddenly sold out completely. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. I try to be prepared because I am ambitious and I do lots of merchandise and I always try to bring even more,
mhm.
but you never know.
Yeah.
I hope to sold out every day, and be working like a Vietnamese kid every day, but I'm not.
Just always have to have. Um, I don't know. I don't know what you have in Europe. We UPS or FedEx or whatever you have your
Yeah,
next
we have
package.
all of that,
Yeah.
and yeah, we have many. Yeah.
So if you have it, you have everything. Like ship it to the next though. Ship it to the next show. So we're gonna
Actually,
sell.
that's an idea that I have in mind, because we are planning in the future to go to different countries. And for example, I'm going to be helping Blazon Stone on May. They are going to play on Greece on Up the Hammers. So my idea is to ship the merchandise over there, because it doesn't make any sense to go loaded with the suitcases on the plane. It doesn't make any sense. So it's cheaper to just send a box and pick it there. And yeah.
There you go. There you go. Um, now with your current band, how many albums have you done? How many are
We have an album out, and we have an EP that some people consider an album. I do consider that a demo, but officially we have an album.
okay? Yeah. Now where can people find your albums and
Oh, everywhere. No, not everywhere, but at least on our social media, we have copies of the CD. But on streaming, you have Bandcamp, Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's on iTunes. Everywhere. And CDs, if you want to support us, it's on Bandcamp, and you can order directly on Facebook or whatever, and it's on some stores over there, some you know places.
okay, okay. So which one do you make the most money off of? Directly from you through like Facebook or through Bandcamp?
Through Facebook, because
Okay, so go to
Bandcamp is
Facebook and
amazing, and I do
order.
support. Yeah, I do support Bandcamp a lot because it's a really helpful place. But obviously, I earn a bit more on directly on Facebook, because no fees and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's why I like telling people, I was like, "If you got the option to buy it directly from them, buy it directly from them." Not yeah, see, I hate to say this, I just recently discovered Bandcamp, and, like, every couple weeks, I buy a couple new albums, and so I was like,
It's a
"Oh."
great place, and I'm always encouraging new bands or younger bands to join the platform because it's amazing. And even if they take fees, it's nothing compared to other platforms out there who are vultures and they are waiting to rip your intestines out. But Bandcamp actually, it's a platform where it's easy to find the music that you really connect with,
Mhm.
and the algorithm is amazing, and you can really work a fan base there, and I love it. I really love it as a fan and as a musician. I truly support Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's one that I didn't know how well it worked, and then, because I like my metal, and I got back into synthwave stuff, 'cause I like that, and then, I ordered some albums off of them. They're like, "Well, if you like this one, you'll like this one." And I'm like, "Oh, I do like that one. Oh, I do
Yeah.
like that one too."
Yeah, it's not like, YouTube kind of used to be good on the term of algorithm and recommending stuff, and I did discover many bands out there, young and old. But now it's like a never-ending loop of the same shit, and it's like, meh, no, and Spotify, uh, uh,
Eh,
the same crap, and then you have an ad that is pop music that you don't care about, and I yeah.
yep.
Bandcamp all the way.
Okay, I have to ask you, because this hit me hard because when, I was stuck, during the pandemic, I had to close down my store. So basically, I would just go in there and clean the shop and straighten up stuff, prep stuff to ship stuff out online. So I started listening to a lot of just let YouTube or any of that stuff run in the background, and I started finding all these bands. And then I found them, and then I looked them up and found out, oh, they put out an album, and they broke up.
Yeah, oh, so many. Yeah, that's the curse.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
mean, yeah, most people think that we are like dead or something like that because we are taking a bit of time to put an album, but it's hard to put an album in these conditions, and you have to wait. It will come and it will be amazing. But many bands, and especially the underground bands that really go hard with the first album and really stand out, and people are like super hyped about them, and then they are gone, and it's like, wow, you have everything, you have a lineup, I don't have a lineup, I want a lineup. And they have, and they can tour, and they don't have any problems, and they are uh welcome on very well-known festivals, and they break up. I don't know, I don't get it.
yeah,
I
because
mean, I know the shit that is going on inside bands, and it's really hard to cope with stuff. But yeah,
yeah, we have the ongoing joke because there's a bunch of bands that I'd love to see get back together, like big bands. And I was like, you know what? I worked with a guy I hated. I despised him for 5 years. We hated each other. It's like, you tell me that you couldn't suck it up for 5 shows?
I know. That's what I say because I've been working. Let's be honest, nobody cares. I've been working with some fucking assholes that I was not able to stand. But they were good musicians, and music is more important. But there are bands that go over that and solve their problems like professionals. Iron
Mhm.
Maiden, probably they don't understand each other, or maybe they do now because many years, like all marriages.
Yep.
But Steve Harris and Bruce Dickinson didn't have the best relationship when Bruce went away. They even made a poster killing Bruce Dickinson,
Mhm.
and they were saying awful stuff about
Yep.
him. Judas Priest the same with Rob Halford, and they are working, and they are killing it, and they are filling stadiums, and it's a different mindset, and not everyone is ready for that, and that's the problem why so many bands go to hell.
Yeah. Well, that's like, finding out, I listened to the Ramones and, finding out that them guys hated each other, like, almost
Yeah,
the entire time. You're like,
yeah, stealing wives and
yeah,
that kind of shit. Oh, Ramstein, it's not a band that I like, but I respect the guys because one guy was fucking the wife of the other guy, and they are there, and they don't kill each other, so I don't know. It's weird. It's crazy. It's questionable, yes, but it works.
Yeah.
So
What's this? Money talks and bullshit walks. So enough money gets thrown at you, you're like, you know what? Okay, I'll do
it's
it.
a job. I mean, like you say, on a regular workplace, you have to deal with people that you don't stand.
Mhm.
Members of a band do not really need to be friends. And
Yeah.
that's something that people do not understand inside bands and outside bands, because when shit happens, they are like, oh, these people have so much ego or whatever, and it's like, no. I mean, let's separate things. One can be an asshole, but if he's a professional, that you know different stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. We oh, my kid's back here. We have the ongoing joke that there needs to be a band made up of band members kicked out of other bands. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is something like that. I mean, for example, Accept, there were members that I don't know, I don't remember the name, but Peter Baltus was there, and some Udo, I think, sang one song, and there were other guys, and it's like, is it really necessary? I don't know, but I accepted, pun intended. And I think there are more examples of people that try to go together, like, the enemies of my enemies are my friends.
he
In
definitely.
some cases can work, in some cases it's pathetic, but to each his own.
Well, we had a discussion the other day because my son was asking me, is like, oh, is there any bands that are still out there who have no original members? I'm like, a lot of them.
A lot, most of them.
Yes.
And necromancy is one thing, and resurrecting bands that are not the bands that used to be. And I, I mean, I respect that if the original member is there, the main composer, the soul of the band. Because, for example, let's put Yngwie Malmsteen is Yngwie Malmsteen, so
Mhm,
it makes sense that whoever is around him, the band keeps going on.
mhm.
Or other examples. There are other bands that it's a group of people, and you cannot really think outside that combination of people, obviously. Or at least you can change one member, and maybe it can work or not. But there are other examples, other ways of working, and people do not accept that.
Nope. Well, I was a big Sepultura guy, and knowing that there's no original members in Sepultura, everybody's like, "Oh, you want to go see them?" Nah, I'll go see Soulfly or go see Max. I'll go see if I want to see Sepultura, I'll go see another band. It's the same thing.
Yeah, in some cases doesn't make any sense that they are trying to push it. It's like, am I seeing a tribute of a tribute of a tribute of a band? And in most cases it is, but it's how the business is going on these days. So yeah,
Yeah,
they
because
better festivals better pay that kind of act that really risk their money for a proper band, young or old, because there are many that can make a good show. But yeah.
yeah. Uh, what's been your favorite live show you've seen?
Oh, that's a tricky one because I've been to so many shows, but let me think, because it keeps changing. I mean, the Hall of the Hammers when I was in 2018, it was a festival and I saw so many events and it was amazing. I saw Manila Road, who kicked that day very much, and Saracen were amazing. It was one of the most clean bands I've seen live. I mean, who remembers Saracen? Maybe I don't know, but they were so fucking flawless. The singer was amazing. It sounded even better than the album, and I was like, is this playback? But it wasn't. It was better than the singing on the album. Yeah, so maybe that one is a weird choice because I've seen Iron Maiden and I've seen Judas Priest and bigger bands, and I love Accept again, and I've seen Omen, which are one of my favorite bands, and I had a blast. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to choose. I've seen many bands.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. There's many bands I've seen for different reasons. Like I would go see this band again, or I'd go see this band again. This one had a great stage show, but this one performed better, and it goes, all over. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone back and seen bands like King Crimson, and they're phenomenal live, but they just get up and play. There's no
Yeah,
interaction between the audience and the band. They just play, and it's amazing,
yeah.
but it's just them playing.
It's not the whole show. I really am a person that really likes the interaction with the audience and a show per se, and with props and that kind of stuff, if possible. Not everyone can, put a stage or do certain stuff, but if it's possible, if it fits the spirit of the band, I'm all for it.
So, cool. So okay, if you had the money, what kind of stage? What would be the big stage show presence that you would do? Like, would you
Oh, I
fire
I have
pyro?
so many dreams. Like, we've been dreaming about it. Like, fire everywhere, fog machines everywhere, neon lights, a hammer, well, like a big hammer, swords, axes, anvils, everything. Fur, fake fur, and leather, and and a whole shock value show. Like, I'm a very Manowar fan without the cheesiness. But that kind of stuff, I truly love that kind of stuff, and I love Iron Maiden with the giant Eddie and that kind of stuff. Judas Priest bringing a bike on stage, that's crazy. So everything that I could fit on a stage, I will fit with no limits. Like, I mean, for example, I think it was. Yeah, Dio on the Sacred Heart tour. I think it was a dragon that was spitting fire or fog or something like that. I want that as well. I don't even have songs of the dragon, but I want a dragon on stage. I want everything. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
with the leader that we have, we try to do props. We have our skulls, we have banners, and we have, to make the stage more beautiful and according to our aesthetic, our aesthetic. Yeah, fuck. Uh, so yeah, but if I had the money, I will go crazy and I will feed everything like Conan the Barbarian movie. Well, that put that on stage, everything.
Ah, that would be cool. I know that following your Instagrams and stuff like that, you do a very 80s metal leather gear stuff like that. Now, do you buy it, order it, make it? Do you?
Do it yourself all the way. I mean, I have two modes. For in one hand, I go all do it yourself, and I recycle stuff. Like, for example, if I find a suitcase on the garbage, I bring it with me and I take the scraps of leather and I make my bracelets and I put stats on that and I paint it black because it was ugly brown and that kind of stuff. And the other way that I get my stuff is secondhand stores because I am a very cheap person in terms of getting my stuff. But besides, the price, which is amazing because I do not spend more than €2 or stuff like that. You get unique stuff, and I alter the stuff that I see potential, and I add more stuff, and I add my personality, and I make crazy crazy things with what I find.
Well, you're doing a good job. So
Thank you.
now, I do have to ask this. This goes. We're having a resurgence of vinyl over here in the United
Hmm.
States. Uh, and so all these bands re-releasing their older albums on special vinyl and stuff like that. Is that taken off over there? Or is that
Yes, I mean, yes, and I am a graphic designer, so I've been working with some labels to put together graphics for vinyls, and
mhm.
they sell like crazy. Like, we got a vinyl edition for Gods of Death, and it was a huge delay because COVID and stuff like that. And by the point that it arrived, because we put a pre-sale thinking that it was going to be earlier, and when it arrived to my house, the boxes were like, okay, it's to the envelope because goodbye. Or well sold out, and it was amazing. And there are many vinyl editions of bands, new bands and re-releases and that kind of stuff, and super special editions with Gateful, and it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Now are you are going to re-release your album after you sold it out on vinyl?
Yes, that's a surprise, and this is an exclusive here, and it's going to be a special because many reasons, but there will be a re-release sometime, probably soon. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have to order one so I can put it in my collection over here. So um now going back to music with being a metal fan and stuff like it, is it harder or easier now to find, you know, because you're finding new music, you're finding new, but is it easier to find like in stores and stuff and over there?
Stores to buy stuff. You mean?
Y-
Mm,
Like
no.
like
I
oh, I don't even know. Over here we've seen the you know pop and stuff is still readily available just in stores. You can go to
mhm.
Walmart or whatever. But metal is now you have to go to specialty stores. You have to go to order it offline or you know stuff like that. Is it finding its way back into easier places to get it, or do you still have to go to
I
specialty?
mean, I've been buying metal from unexpected places, like big malls and stuff like that, in chain stores that have a decent metal section, and not only bands that could be big but are not super big, like Metal Church, for example. I bought a Metal Church album on FNAC, and that was a surprise. But if you keep scrolling and you go through the boxes and stuff like that, you see young bands, and that's exciting. And obviously not every place has metal albums available and stuff like that, and if you can go to a more niche store, uh, it's better. But in Spain, I don't think there are too many just metal physical stores. It's hard, but you can find shit. But I mostly buy online because I'm a nerd and I'm all day on the computer, and most bands, I'd rather go, and as we were talking before, direct purchase is the best
Mm-hmm.
way to support the bands. And yeah, even if it takes, more into shipping cost and stuff like that, I really want to support the bands because I know how hard it is to make a fucking euro out of your music.
Oh yeah. Now you guys you guys ship worldwide for yourself?
Oh yes, everywhere and in any method. If you want ordinary shipping, we have it, and if you want registered shipping, we have whatever you need.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So I got to go back to the hard hitting questions here.
Yeah.
Okay, you could hire one singer to come in and do a duet with you on your next album.
Oh,
Who
no.
would you hire?
Fuck. Depending on the song, obviously, because I mean, I would love to resurrect Dio. Who doesn't?
Oh yeah.
But I will sound like shit compared to him. That's the deal. But yeah, I'm a huge Dio fan, and it's a huge inspiration for me as a vocalist. So maybe, or J.D. Kimball for a moment, which I've been also been compared a lot with. I will resurrect him as well, and maybe do a duet. Everyone is dead. What the fuck?
That's what sucks about these last couple of years, man. So many people
Yeah.
you're like, another one? Seriously,
Yes.
no.
Yes. Yes. Please stop dying, people.
That's right. That's right. Okay. We gotta get in another hard hitting question. You could do a cover. What cover would you do?
Oh. Oh. Also, depending on the type, but I always wanted to do Red Sharks by Crimson Glory. Yeah, I
Okay.
never had the chance to do that, but my crazy idea was to put that as a bonus track on the EP, and it doesn't make any sense because the atmosphere is not the same. I have a huge influence on US power metal. It's obvious, but the EP, especially the EP, is more like that epic vibe,
Mhm.
and Crimson Glory doesn't really fit there, but who cares?
Well, if you put it as a bonus, it doesn't count.
Yes, I know. Who knows? I don't know. I love making covers, and we've been including many covers on the live sets because it's always fun, and I'm always picking Riot or Running Wild or whatever band because I am, all over the place, and I love bands and I love playing their stuff.
What's your go-to cover? What's the song that you play like in every set?
Ah, Omen, that's right there.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, because Omen are not that well-known band,
No.
you know,
Yeah.
and we were playing in so many places that people thought that it was our own song, and I was like, okay, thank you, that is not, but thank you, you know.
Well,
So it's a fun, it's like an inside joke.
well, that happen. I hate to say that happens with a lot of bands.
Oh, it froze.
Okay,
I can hear you, but I don't know if it's. Yes, I
okay,
think it's back.
yeah. It's the internet. It's probably the weather outside or something. Um, but you know,
Yeah.
with the cover band.
Okay, back, no?
Okay, that just went again.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, so I'll finish asking talk with this question. Um, but yeah, it's funny finding out these bands that put out albums that everybody thought was their song, and then you find out, oh no, it's a cover song. No, come back, way back. um, all right.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's like spotting the nerds.
Um, what's your current go-to album? Like if you go, you put it in your car, or you while you're working, you listen to that one, like your first one you go to.
I mean, I've been listening a lot, and this is not fair, but well, I've been listening like all the time, Blaze on Stone Damnation, like on loop, basically. And also, some days ago, I added Persian Risk, Rise Up. So I've been listening for some variation that one. It's nice, but yeah.
Cool. All right. So I have to ask, um, are you going to be on tour soon?
Oh,
Oh, we're losing again. All right.
it
Um,
went away
there we go.
again.
I'm here. Are you back? Can you hear me? See me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I can hear
Um,
you.
we're getting to the end here, so we can. Are you on tour anytime soon?
We don't have any close dates yet that we can announce on air or anything like that because my brother is still recovering from his surgery. He had it like a couple of weeks ago, so we don't know exactly when we will be able to tour. But the idea is to go in 2023 and tour a bit. Yes,
Okay. And where can pe-
hopefully.
and where can people find you at?
I'm everywhere on Instagram, Facebook. I'm even on TikTok, on YouTube. I don't know, and you can find me by Mina Walkure, and you can find my band Kramp everywhere as well. And Bandcamp, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere.
So, all right. Since we're having some issues, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And I do appreciate you being on, and hope to have you back on again, so we can talk more about metal and music and
That would
stuff
be
like that.
awesome. I had a blast.
Yeah, it's been fun. And it's fun talking to somebody, I hate to say it, in Europe that I can talk to about metal, because I get stared at blankly a lot when I talk about metal here.
Yeah,
But I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And like I said, you've been killing it. And like I said,
thank you.
finding you was really cool. Found you by chance, and I'm a fan now. So I
Thank you
greatly
so
appreciate it.
much.
So, all right. Well, thank you so very much for being on the show. I great appreciate it. And like I said, hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a huge pleasure and a nice conversation. So I really hope to be back.
Yep, I will have you back. Maybe next time I won't. I'm hoping thumbs up that after Christmas and everything, and I spend money on my kids and my wife and stuff, then I will get a better computer and I can have actually better show. So, but thank you again. And take care.
Take care. Bye.